What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Danatronic, and today we're going to do a track breakdown of my brand new song that just came out called Resurgence. This track is the first track since the launch of my EP back in March. If you haven't checked that out, link is in the description. Also, I put myself in these producer boot camps, which basically means I am just in the studio, not really focusing on making music, but just making sounds and just saving them for later, so that when I do feel like making a track, I can just go ahead and go into my library and the sounds are there and I can just drag them in. But anyway, this track Resurgence is really cool because this is kind of like almost like a rebirth of my sound design and trying to find like my staple sound and signature sound in a way. I don't think I found it yet, but I think this song is pretty much all in one of what I consider the Danatronic project is. So yeah, this is going to be a breakdown of how I made this track and what are some cool things that I've probably learned in the process of making this song. So if you guys learned something from this video, let me know in the comments below. This is no way, shape, or form a tutorial of any sort. This is just showing you guys a little bit of how I produce and how I come up with ideas. So without being said, let's get started. So I got the project file open, so we're just gonna head into it and I'll see you there. Okay, so we are in the project file of Resurgence. It is not too bad. It's only 74 if you count the master channel, 74 channels. Not a whole lot of channels. I know, like, I feel like more professional producers, they got like over like 100 to 200 channels, which at that point I have no idea what else they're adding into their music that's worth that many things to be on there. But anyway, so let's start with I don't know why I'm using my left hand, but I guess the mic is kind of in the way. But I'll use my right hand anyway. So let's just dive in to the intro of this track. So this is what it sounds like. So I think when I started this song, I don't know if I don't think I started with the intro. I think I started with the drop. I think I made like a bass and just started from there, but we're going to start from right here. The initial idea of this intro is this drone bass kind of groove here. I kind of kept that motif going in this track because I love these little notes that I put in here to give it that kind of like little flick, this little flick in the note kind of gives it like a vintage old school sounding. So I just took that MIDI and basically duplicated over here, but but you know, gave it some more characters. This is my little keytar here. And then as you can see, based off the colors is the velocity. So blue mean really dark navy blue means it's like the softest of the notes. As you can see right here in the note velocity region here, blue is the softest note and red is the loudest note, even though this isn't even the loudest. This is orange. Orange is like 113. The loudest is 127. So yeah, so I just kind of went with the groove here. So let's continue. Also, to note here, there's this little guy. which is a sound design jam I made. I think I just imported. Wait, hold on. It came from somewhere. It definitely came from somewhere. Oh, it's over here. So it's this little sound design jam I have here. It's a simple saw wave with no effects. It's just saw wave, and that's it. That's all I needed from Serum. What really is the main sound design is in Snapheap. I have two Snapheap effects here. One is a spectral jam by itself. It sounds like. Let me go down an octave. Which inside of this Snapheap is a few things going on. I already made a video about that, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link somewhere in the video or in the description. I'm sure of it. But yeah, I made a whole YouTube video of how I made the spectral jam, so you guys can make this too. And it's also a combination of AU5's Ultracomb. So he also has a video about how he made it in Ableton, so you guys can check that out too. So combined, it sounds like this. And then, you know, some soothe and chromoverb and a little bit of high pass on the EQ. So that's how I was able to make that. But anyway, all right. Let's run it back a little bit. All right, so now we're into the build up. We've added some more elements here. We added some soft drums, but before we get there, we got this little guy that kind of transitions into the build up right here. So this is a Spectracomb shot from my Spectracomb sample pack. It's a mini sample pack. It's I believe 30 samples in there. It's free. Also, link is in the bio. If you want that, you can get it. There's a lot of I'm going to promote, just so you know. Uh anyway, so I took a little bass shot from my sample pack and put it here. It was a good sound to kind of help transition into this section here. So we got these soft drums right here, nothing too special. I also have a second lead that's playing on top of this guy. The second lead is down here. Oops. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is the audio. This is the actual MIDI of the guitar too. So that's that. And then we have this this little ambient happening. And it's a combination of three things. It's this plucky sawtooth. I can actually just unmute these for a sec. And it's a combination of this, which nothing too surprising here. It's just a regular saw wave with a little bit of filter modulation, hyperdimension, and reverb, and with a 9 or 10 9 voice unison, detuned around 0.24, and a velocity modulation, and then more chromoverb to give it that spacious sound. So it's a combination of that. Let me just mute that. It's a combination of this Spectracomb pad, which sounds like this. And this is a few things going on with this one. It's a bleep fade wavetable. I think this is from Vital's download pack, I believe. If you guys don't know what Vital is, it's a wavetable synthesizer plugin. It's Matt Title's plugin. I believe it's free. I think it's a free plugin, and it's super powerful. And I can show you guys later on a little bit of it. So yeah, so this is from the Vital, or where is it from? I can't remember. Yeah, subscriber pack 5. Vital's subscriber pack 5. It's bleep fade. With a 2-voice unison, detuned a little bit. And there's nothing going on in Serum per se. Snapheap, I think, is doing much of the work. Yeah, so we got this psychedelic, what's it called? Psychedelic Phaser by Navi, which sounds really dope. And then we have Ultracomb from AU5 and Mastering Glue from New Loops. So it just brought the sound more to life. I also added kilohertz distortion. And then we have chroma that's in the key of the song, giving a little bit of color in the mids. And then we have dual delay, which gives it that kind of spacious, like ping pong delay. More reverb with chromoverb. I really love chromoverb because it has that kind of spacious reverb sound that's like super cool. I use it in all my productions. Some OTT soothe to, calm those harsh ends, and then some EQ, like a high pass EQ. So that's how I made that. And then on top of that, you have this guy, which so also a lot going on in this one. I think this is a is a regular saw, but it's +4 and 64 at the same time, which will get, if I were to turn all these off, you can't hear anything, but ooh, that was harsh. My bad. It's like a really, really high pitch something, but I have Snapheap open. Snapheap again is responsible for these sounds. I have a bunch of formant filters. I think there's about 14 of these, 14 comb filters. I think these are in the, negative positions. So, and then we have another Snapheap here, which is Ultracomb, and we have 3 random LFOs that are all being randomized in each group. And of course, the last one being also in macro 2. So wait, which one's this one for? Oh, all these 2 as well. Oh wow, I have a lot of randoms. Anyway, so this is what gives it that kind of, it's a really cool sound. So we add some chroma to give it some color. It's coming through, dual delay, chroma verb, compressor, limiter, OTT, soothe, and last but not least, some bandpass filtering just to focus on the 5 to 3.5K frequency. So, and then, and then if you put all that together and then you create one shots, you eventually end up with this sound right here, which is nice. And then we have a little build up with the drums, the kick drum, and then we have the snare drums that are going to build things up. So let's keep it going. right, we are already in the first exciting part of the song, which is the chorusy side. I wouldn't even technically call this a drop per se. It sounds more like a chorus to me. But anyway, so now let's start from top to bottom. So we got this guy here, which I think this is just a more, I think, did I pull up the gain on this? No. Or maybe oh wait, maybe I turned down the gain. No, I didn't. Okay, well this is just basically this, but just louder. So there's that. And then we have the main motif of the guitar. Then we also have the harmonic section. So that's a good. When I wrote that, I was kind of like, yeah, this is it right here. So I was feeling myself with that one. So I'm very proud of that lead. So now we got these little super saws down here. Nothing too special. And these are very simple chords. Like, they're not very simple, nothing too special here. I didn't want to make them too complex because the lead is already taken up majority of the mid highs and highs, so I just wanted to keep these like in the mid range. But notice how you hear that flicking sound, this da 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 da, da like that clicking in between, just to keep the motif going from the very beginning of that drone bass that we showed in the intro. So I wanted to make sure that that's still the same, and even with this bass down here is keeping that. So there's that little click going on right there. So that is the main motif that's going on in this track. Then we have like my drums and stuff. So that's really it for the chorus section. And then we get into this little transition here. So let's just run it back a little bit. Oh, wait, before I get there, I got these AU5 Dream Bells. This is from his, let's see, it's from his Dawn Nations Nebula pack. So these kind of came in clutch. When I showed this track to my friend Alex, aka Cosmic Fluid. If you guys don't know who he is, check out his stuff. He's super dope. He gave me some feedback on this track. It was really just one thing he wanted me to do, is to add some arps in the harmonic section. So that's what I did. So I took these and made this little, which in my opinion did make this section, the harmonic section, really shine. So thank you, Alex, for that. So let's move on to the next section. This is the build-up section. Let's start from right here. Ooh, almost hit you with the drop. Not yet. Not yet. We're not there yet. We're almost there. We just got to get through this part. All right. So a few things happening here. So we got some ambient stuff going on right here. We'll start right here. So this is a vocal chop of, so all right. So this is how I did this vocal chop. This is not a sample from like Splice or anything. This is my voice. What I did was I had my phone on me. And I was listening to this section of it and I was like trying to figure out, I can hear vocal chops, but I didn't want to spend time like looking on Splice or whatever vocal loop I have in my library and trying to manually chop it up and pitch it and do all that stuff. If there's one thing you should know about me, the way how I produce, I find the more efficient and easier and smarter ways to get the results I want without having to do too much technicality, because that just dish out the idea faster for me. So what I did was, while I was while I played this track back, I went on my phone, I went to my voice memos, and as the track was playing, all I did was did like I recorded myself saying like I did that. And then I took that recording and I put it in Logic and I put it in my sampler and I chopped it up. So I'll just free up. I'll just let me see. Oof. It's hard to like navigate on my desk cuz this mic is in the way. But this is okay, so this is the MIDI for the vocal chops, and you'll see it in real time of what notes are being hit. If I take all the processing off of it, this is what it sounds like. So yeah, it's literally my voice from my voice memos, and I chopped it up in here because I already did the vocal chop through the recording. All I had to do is just make the vocal sound more tighter and choppy. So I basically did the work just recording it. It's just chopping it up a little bit more to give like those little cutoffs in the beginning and the end of the sample, and then just arranging it how I want it. So yeah, that's how I did the vocal chops with that. And then, with all this processing going on. So, and I did some really cool things with here. So, back to this now. So the reason why I did the vocal chops is because I felt like I needed to say some lyrics here or there. So I allowed the vocal chop to be like an anticipation of, uh-oh, some lyrics are coming up. Because I've noticed that in electronic music, um, before a vocalist starts to sing in the track, it's not all the time I see this, but it's a thing that is used a lot. They'll do like a reverse symbol, or not a reverse symbol, but like a reverse syllable of the lyric that they're about to say. Like you'll hear like and then they start singing. And that was for the longest time, and still now, an indication of somebody's about to sing. So instead of doing that, I wanted to be just a little bit unique and just kind of make the vocal chops be the anticipation of lyrics coming up afterwards. So see, it's just got to think outside the box a little bit. But anyway, so while that's happening, we have this guy here, another one of these one shots here, nothing too crazy. Let me put my right hand back underneath here because that's how using my left hand is. I'm not left-handed, so. And then we have the bass line right here following here. We have this guy, the Spectracomb shot right here. Beautiful. This actually came from this little guy right here, but if I go into automation mode, I have like a few things. Actually, no, I just have one thing. I have one thing. It's just a tremolo, and it's just me automating from 0 to 100, the tremolo effect happening, and then dissipating after like a few bars or so. So that's it. And the sound itself sounds cool. I have chroma verb, and chroma on there to add some more color to it. And then I have like these tidbits down here from before, so that's still the same. And then I have this like impact kick. That's my signature impact kick. I use it in all my projects for the most part. Okay, so as we go to more of the build up, this is the vocal section. Nothing different in terms of musicality. So this is the vocals, the raw vocals. Well, it's not the raw vocals, but yeah, you can see there's some shit going on here. This is our resurgence, a flame that never dies. So yeah, we got auto tune, pitch corrector. We got EQ, two compressors, another EQ, graphic EQ, de-esser, silver verb, which is a type of reverb. We got serum effects, which has the comb filtering. The comb filtering, it's going into this is the all combs preset in the filter effects, and skewing more towards the negative side, giving it that kind of robotic sound. There was chroma on there, but I decided not to use it. And then soothe to, tame those harsh frequencies, and then more reverb to kind of boost a little bit here, and a little dip on the high end, and then a channel EQ, which, just trying to clean up the vocals a little bit. I am no way, shape, or form a vocal producer. I have no idea. Like, I'm not. Vocal production is like a whole different field and a whole different muscle. I wish I knew how to mix vocals properly. I really don't. So this may sound not the best, but it's the best that I can do. So that's what it is. And then on top of that, I have this guy. I have a manipulator that's routed to this channel with some soothes on it. It's an effects plugin, but you could also use it as a vocoder, so it sounds better with it. This is our resurgence, a flame that never dies. It sounds terrible by itself, I know, but with everything else, you can barely notice it. This is our resurgence, a flame that never dies. From the ruins we will rise with the fire in us. So yeah, that's it. All right. It's time for the drops. The drops. This is what we are here for. I know that was kind of loud. My bad. Anyway, the drops. We all love the drops. These are our favorite moments in music. The drops. So, starting off, let's do this. All right. That was fun. Anyway, I'm joking. Let's decode this real quick. So, the first sound that we hear is this guy right here, this growl. And that's the top layer. This is the bottom layer. So, this is just a direct copy from this. It's just, high pass or something. So, we'll focus on this bottom one here. What's happening with this sound? How I made this growl, it's fairly simple. There's not a lot going on here. So I have this wavetable called Spectral Wave. It's from it's where is it? I can't find it. Spectracomb tables. Here it is. So it's Spectral Wave. It's the original one. And how I got this is I took samples from my Spectracomb mini sample pack. It's free. Go check it out. And I took a sample and imported it into the wavetable and made a thing. So and made a wavetable of it. That's pretty much it. And then I did the same thing on this one. So, and I just used a different one, Spectral Wave 2, which is the second rendition of it, and made a bass out of that, and created a, what's keys in this? What's key this is in? D sharp. Okay. So if I turn, let me turn all these off. If I turn all of this, it sounds like this by itself in stereo. So it's still a cool sound. So I use a band reject filter, which created like 2 peaks and a little notch right here. And in the effects, we got hyper and dimension, and we just turned the rate down and just kept everything the same. Distortion, I think this is like, yeah, still a cool sound by itself, but the distortion really brings it out. We use like a soft clip distortion here. We got an EQ to boost up the mid and highs a little bit, mostly the mid highs. We also have a compressor, turn down the threshold, turn down the ratio, and boost the gain a little bit, and obviously multiband, because why not? And we have our sub here. I didn't use a separate sub because I've learned a few ways how to utilize this sub within Serum without having other elements really interfere it. Yes, you can turn on direct out and all the effects stuff won't really bother the sub, but you still have other parameters that could potentially bother the sub. I figured this out by paying attention to my EQ and noticing that my subs are still, it could be like within the wavetable. Like if your wavetable has a fundamental, whether it's a little bit or a lot of fundamental in it, that could affect your sub. So if you want to get rid of your fundamentals, this is your fundamental, aka the sub of your wavetable. All you gotta do is just get rid of the bar and it will not outphase the sub. So yeah, and there's no unison or detuning happening here. Most of that is happening over at the hyper and dimensions. So since it doesn't affect the sub, I was able to use this sub, and it turns out very clean, as you can see on the spectrogram there. So anyway, we get into the third party effects. We have kilohertz distortion. I put on saturate, put it to like almost +4 decibels. We got OTT, soothe. This EQ is a side EQ. It's basically high passing the low frequencies so that we can have a cleaner sub at the bottom. A few notches for those muddy frequencies, and there's this one frequency I really liked, so I boosted it just a little bit on the high shelf. So, and then this isn't by itself. This is also layered. Oops, this is layered on top of, the main bass. This one is more spacious sounding. This one I added chromoverb to it to give it more of like a spatial feel, and I high passed the bass a lot, so all the way to almost 300 hertz, and then got rid of some of the high end too, because we're just really focusing on the mids and high mids a little bit. So everything else is the same, like it's the same parameters. The only difference in here is that the band reject is a little bit has a deeper notch than the first one. The first one had a smaller notch. This one has a deeper notch. So it's more aggressive that way. And this whole entire drop is all the main basses have a double version of themselves with that has a layer, a high. What I'm trying to say is each bass in here has a duplicate copy of itself, but the duplicate copy is a layer that covers the higher frequencies, giving it more of a well-rounded sound. Because the first time I bounced this project out, I didn't have these basses have duplicates of its own, because at the time I thought it sounded good, but when I looked on my EQ, I noticed that the drops was missing a lot of mid frequencies. So I needed to bring more mid frequencies back. So I just duplicated the bass and just kind of get rid of the sub and get rid of some of the high end. It really focuses on the mid so it can fill out the sound more. So And it took me a while to realize it, up until like I was listening to other people's music, and I was looking on the spectrogram, and I was like, oh wait, why are their mid frequencies more filled out than mine? So yeah, that's what it was. So we have this sound, and then we have this next sound coming up, which is that, which is also layered on top with this. So all these are child presets from the main parents, so they're the same ones. The only difference is that the filter changes. This is no longer a band reject. This is just a band filter, which gives it this nice gun sound, especially messing around with the master tune, master volume, giving it more of a really sharp sound. Also added a comb filter to this one in the negatives. This is an all combs filter, and it's pointed towards the negative frequencies. So not negative frequencies, it's a lower frequency is what I meant to insinuate earlier. But everything else is pretty much the same. This is the duplicate one to layer on top. And then on top of those, I added these little one shots of the Spectracomb, like that. So it just it works out. So oh, there's also this guy down here. So all I'm doing with this, again, the parameters are still the same. The only difference is the pitch bend of the master tune. So it goes da 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 right here, and then it goes back down to pitch to the note, root note, da da. And then this LFO is controlling quarter notes. But it's modulated by envelope 2 to go from, I believe this right here is 132 or 32nd to quarter notes. So it could be that, or 16th notes, or 30 it's either 32nd notes or 16th notes, and it modulates down to quarter notes. So it starts from up here and it dips down 32 or 16, and it dips down to quarter notes, like that. And then this is the layer above it. So that's pretty much the breakdown of the basses there. Not a whole lot going on. So let's move on. Real quick, this guy. Same situation. Da 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 da. I'm just messing with the automation of the master tune of this. So, and this is also a band reject right here, and this is its counterpart. So yeah. So this is Super Saws. I think this is a part of the next section that's coming up. And then we have this guy right here, like that. I like to add in little sprinkles of that just to give it a little bit more of a sci-fi kind of feel, and it kind of adds on to the high ends, so it's lovely. And we have this guy, and then we have this on top to complement it. So before I get to that next part, the only thing I wanted to show is this guy, like that. Another one of those shots. And now let's get to this section. So yeah, this is Temanite heavily inspired, and let's talk about it real quick. I'm like positioning my hand. I wish there was a better way to do this, but there's not. Anyway, so for the most part, this is the super saw right here. Oh, that's that other section. So this super saw basically follows the bass line underneath. And I think what I did the bass line first. And then I copied the MIDI over to the synth section and then just created chords with it. So I don't have to individually write those or like record, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't even see these. Oh, these are, so what I also like to do too is I took the harmonic guitars from the chorus section right here and chopped them up to fit within the drop. I kind of like that kind of contrast sometimes when the drop has like a very atonal section and then there's like a melodic section that follows it, the B side of the drop, and the melodic section comes from the chorusy stuff from before. One thing I like to do in music a lot is take elements from earlier or later in the track and, you know, tease or hint at it. So just to keep the song flows as smooth as possible. And nobody for a sec has a moment in time when they listen to a track and feels like, is this a different track or is this the same song? You know, it's all flowing as one thing. So yeah, we have the guitars here. So we got that following. Then we have the super saws that are following the same like that. And then you know, we have the basses here. So this is the bass line. And I made it stabby because this is a bass stabby section. So, and then to follow that, I have have that going together. It sounds like this. The reason I use this because it sounds like one of those really metallic shots, bass shots. So, and then we have some chroma, or not chroma, but Spectracomb shots right here. And that pretty much, trying to see, yeah, that's pretty much the entire explanation of this drop. So we'll start right here. Okay. Real quick, not going to explain anything here because this is, you know, copy and paste from the intro and the pre-build-up, the first build-up, so everything is the same there. Nothing's different here. Yeah, nothing's different here. So this next part, this is the next build-up. So I'm gonna explain some things here, but let's take a listen to it. All right, so this is the second build-up. I like this kind of arrangement in music where, because in a way, technically, this whole section is technically a build-up. Even from right here, just right there, like it's a part of the build-up because it's not the intro. And then this part was a part of the pre-build-up from the first, before the first drop. But the only difference is I didn't add in my drums there because I wanted to keep it spacious because I was going to add the drums here. I like doing this kind of arrangement because it gives it a bit of a different kind of ear candy when listening to music. You get that excitement, and then you're thinking that the drop happens here, but then it's like, uh-oh, nope, something's happening. I tend to do this a lot in tracks. No, not a lot. I mean, this is the first of its kind with this track. But I hear it a lot in most electronic music nowadays, especially in dubstep music. Not like mainstream dubstep music, mostly from smaller artists who are either known a little bit or maybe not as known, but I hear it a lot in that regards. But I like this kind of anticipation. So I did something a little different. These guys down here. So you hear really cool sounds. It's really cool for this build up. And what it is, it's basically, I think I took snippets from the drop and put them here, and all I did is I added a delay, and for all the for all of the audio, I have a little fade in and fade out, but it's sped up and slowed down. So it's almost like a tape stop and a tape start effect. But with the delay, it sounds out of this world. I don't even really know how to describe it. And then oops. And everything else is pretty much the same. Yeah, everything pretty much is the same from up there. And then, I have these quantum pulses right here, which is another mini sample pack that I have. It's not released. It's just a sample that I made for myself, but I might release it, who knows. But I have these guys down here. Like that. There's that guy, and then there's these are good for like really baiting this drop, but I find it very cool. And then I have this riser. I added a clap, and then the pre-drop sound is this guy, this quantum pulse, and it just worked out perfectly for what it was. So yeah, so let's run it back, and then we'll get into this final drop. Alrighty, so what did I do here? Well, as you can tell, I pretty much copied and pasted the first drop here and turned it into audio. And the only thing I did different here is change the drum patterns. So this is more like a, uh, first of all, what's the, yeah, the BPM is 105. So this is like a slower house kind of pattern here. Um, yeah, but I took my rhythm drums and just made it into like a house situation. That's all I did different here. And maybe just kind of change the placements of these super saws, but that's it. There's nothing else. Sound design and everything is still the same. Everything is just everything is just bounced as audio, so I can just further manipulate it without having to do too much work. Because I put all of my effort into the first drop, and then to put some more effort in the second drop was too jarring for me. So instead, I just bounce the entire first drop and use it as the second drop, but just changing the audio, however I want, this time I didn't really change the audio. The audio is the same. It's just that I changed the drum patterns to give it a different kind of feel, give it more of a bounce, and it worked out perfectly. So that's what this is. So let's run it back and we'll just go to the outro. And that is the track Resurgence. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this was a very fun track to do. I'm very proud of it. Like I said in the beginning, this track is a rebirth of trying to solidify my sound and style in music. So Resurgence is pretty much solidifying. This is what Danatronic is. This is what the project is in just one in one track. So but that's the track breakdown. And I really hope that you guys learned something with this. If you guys saw a production thing that I did and it interests you, or it gave you some idea or inspiration, man, let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't heard the track Resurgence yet, again, it's out now. Go check it out. This is a really cool, fun track. Also, let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I've already have a few videos up on my YouTube channel right now. I have like a few plugin reviews, and I have a few videos of how I made certain presets. And you know, again, I also have my free mini sample pack Spectracomb that is out right now, and the link is still up on my link tree, so you guys could go get it and use that for your music productions. You can do a lot with those samples. You can just put them in your projects. You can use them in wavetables. You can create full basses with just the audio, with a lot of post-processing if needed. You can morph them into whatever you want. Like the sample pack, it's completely free, no strings attached. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something, and let me know what you guys want to see. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time. Love y'all. Peace.